It is the Riot Podcast. Good Tuesday, December 3rd. I got to ask you guys a question real quick.
It's December 6th.
What? Oh, yeah. Okay. Whatever. Who's counting?
Whatever.
Who's counting?
Well, if you're going to make a point to say the date, you should.
Probably should say the correct one.
Yeah, say the correct date and not make people weirded out.
It's Friday.
my mind was on other things. Isaiah, for the video podcast, go back to the bump shot.
The bump shot?
Yeah, can you do that?
Mm-hmm.
Do I look bigger?
You do look kind of wide.
Are you going to point this out? You don't like how your camera shot is?
Yeah, I think what we used to have here where I sit, there used to be a much bigger monitor. I don't know exactly how big, but I believe it was 249 inches. And that was excessive. And so we've shrunk it down to a more reasonable size, but it's been slightly moved, which is good for me to be able to like see it while I talk to you guys and stuff. But it's also not blocking because it's not so large and in the same place. It's not blocking so much of my torso.
Are you sure you don't like your side stomach shot?
Yeah.
Is that your good side, too? I'm wondering. Is that your
I don't
good
have
side?
a good side.
Okay, well, that's rough.
Or some people could say it's all good side.
Do you want to switch with Isaiah and have his
Yeah, I'll sit there if you want.
torso showing?
Are you sure you're comfortable with that?
I think I look good. I like that chair. I think I look good in it. Because when you zoom into this shot here, I love that shot of myself.
that's a good shot.
This one seems kind of far away. I can't really see myself that well. But this shot, you really get up close and personal.
And to the
Even
audio.
though you're always looking down, we got to figure out a way. For you
well,
to look
this is
up.
supposed to be moved up. It's still in the testing phase.
Yeah.
So we might have to get Chris, the engineer, and who does all this
work
stuff
on
to
that?
move it up and also to block my torso.
Because you always look like you're sad, like you're looking down.
Yeah. Well, it's
Or
a
it
slightly
looks like-
lowered angle.
It looks like you're working
Here.
with your eyes shut.
Hold on. How about if I hold it like? Oh no, now it's blocking the camera.
Yep, now we can't see it all. Now it's blocking your torso, though.
And this is really uncomfortable for me. So
Well, we're working on it. And if you're only
it's a work
listening
in
to
progress.
our audio podcast, don't forget you can head over to RadioU Riot on our Facebook and our YouTube channel so you can actually watch our daily podcast too.
anybody listening to the audio podcast skipped all this.
Yeah, they're ahead
Like this
already.
doesn't apply to me.
Oh,
Don't
you're
know
just
what's going
ignoring
on
it,
here.
guys. It's a real
Yeah.
problem.
So today during the show, one of the things we talked about is we kicked it off with driving with stuff all over your windshield, right? Which always happens like in the wintertime. It happens to me a lot like when my windshield is frozen and then you do that thing where you like drive down the road and you just like look through like the very bottom, you
Yes.
know? I love doing that.
I sometimes I figured out
We've all
that's
done that.
you. That's you.
I'm
not
You want to have a
surprised.
confession time real quick?
What?
Let's hear it.
I did that once. It wasn't intentional. I was running late to work, and I thought that I had it defrosted enough that I was able to see because
Yeah.
it wasn't snow; it was just the frost stuff. And so I tried driving away, and I go around a corner, and I was going super slow, but I scraped up the side of a lady's car.
Oh,
No, you did not.
Did too?
You
Yeah.
did not.
Did you stop?
Here's
Did
what
you
the problem
stop?
was. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay,
just
okay.
making
And
I
you know
thought
what?
you were saying you didn't stop.
You know the great part is
What?
still made it to work on time.
Attaboy.
But no, the
As
problem
you
was
should.
it was so I could see where the car was parked, but I pulled out, and once the sun hit it, so
sure.
there's not a
Oh,
lot
yeah.
I could do. So that was the issue. But
Yeah.
we got that sorted out, insurance and everything, and we made it right. But that was a lesson learned. The good thing is we get up so early here. Our car's windshield doesn't even have time to get frosty. At
Yeah,
least
you
in
don't
my
get too
experience.
much.
So.
And mine's like mine is underneath like my little garage thing, so it doesn't really get frosted in there.
I'm
Lucky
in the
you.
garage.
Lucky
You're in the
you.
garage.
I'm in the
Yeah.
garage.
I have like
Oh,
a
look at you
carport,
guys.
which is like has open on both sides, but it still doesn't get frosted if it's under there.
Nice.
For me personally.
Lucky you.
So we also talked about some of the hottest cities to move to in the U.S. for 2023.
Hot as in trendy.
Yeah, the new
Not
places
Not
to go.
temperature.
Yeah, that wouldn't be a very interesting
Or like
list.
attractive people wise.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Now that's a good
Yeah.
one. I need to find that list. How do I get there?
And basically, just learn as we say no to every place that they're saying on this list.
Yeah, we quickly found all the foibles, all the picadillos with all the towns on
It
the
feels
list.
like it's every state. And they paid money to try to get, like El Paso was like, all right, Texas,
Yeah.
we're taking it this year.
We want to be number one.
I'm paying money because we want to be on the list and we want people to move here.
Austin and San Antonio have been too trendy for too long. We need a new trendy city.
Yeah,
in
so they're
Texas,
paying.
and it's El Paso.
So do you guys have like a certain place that's like always been in your mind if you were to move somewhere? If you like didn't have to work or anything and you could just move to a new
I would
city, where
love-
would you go?
I want to move to Florida or like some island. Like I would be probably the person who would want to sell everything and move like to a different country.
Oh, a different
okay.
country.
Yeah,
A
just-
globetrotter.
Yeah, what do they call those expats or whatever?
Oh, is that what you want to do?
you just go somewhere else and you're like, yeah, I'm like,
So you don't love America then?
I do.
That's fine.
I do, but like I could do
You just
Costa
don't like
Rica.
living. You don't like living here.
I would like
She's
to
ready to
change.
explore.
I
She
wanna
wants to
change.
explore the world. Why
You
not?
still got to have a home base somewhere.
Nope, you don't.
Maybe
don't
in the
need
United
one.
States.
Actually, with my dogs, I do.
What have we ever done to you?
So what are you thinking, Hudson? Do you have a place?
If it was in the United States, it'd be somewhere in the South. I don't know if, like California feels like more of my vibe, but like Southern California.
Like Cali boy, okay.
Yeah, but I mean, obviously, anytime
can't
you bring
afford
that,
it.
yeah,
No one
you
can.
can't afford
Nobody
it.
can.
But we're talking about a dream scenario where I can just go wherever I want, and in this scenario, I have enough money to live in Southern California and
That'd
have
be
it be
good.
70 degrees every day.
Maybe I'd pick Alaska. Maybe just for a little bit.
Just for like a couple months or so,
Yeah.
maybe
I
a
don't
year.
know. I don't know if you have a Alaska
I can handle it.
I don't
For me,
know.
it's a no.
I don't think you'd last very
Not
long.
for me,
up
for
there.
you, but for me to
For
live
no,
there,
no.
absolutely not. I would definitely have to go somewhere warm, like in
I can see-
Arizona
I can
or
see
in Texas
Florida as
or
well.
Florida. Yeah,
Yeah.
one of those.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be opposed to that whatsoever.
I could see Texas.
I wouldn't
also
mind it.
just like the southern U.S. because of the food. So maybe but I don't know. But then there's also other things I don't like about the South. So I don't know. There's nowhere perfect. Is there?
Nowhere
Nowhere.
except for home.
Where your heart is. And it's not
Where
on
your
this
heart
list.
is.
All right, guys, I think we're good.
I think so.
I have more things to say about the Grand Canyon.
No.
Oh, you want to talk about the Grand
Yeah, I
Canyon?
do want to talk about the Grand
All right.
Canyon.
Talk about it.
I was just
Hurry up.
thinking, this is the problem with turning these, turning these big, beautiful pieces of nature into tourist attractions, is it comes with all these people,
Rules.
yeah, all these rules and stuff like that. Because think about it, go back in time, right? Go back, let's say 500 years before the Grand Canyon. People traveled from all over to go see it. What do you think the people that went and saw the Grand Canyon back in those days did before it
Yeah,
was
but we have more
managed by the Parks Service or
We
whatever?
have more things that could get the park in trouble. So, like, graffiti's huge. Like, that's a huge problem there. And trash is a huge problem. So, like, that's just us as, horrible human beings are tempted now to be able to destroy something.
Well, I think
That was
people-
once so beautiful.
Yeah.
I thought
back
you just
then
said
they
it is
didn't-
still
It
beautiful.
is still beautiful.
They didn't have spray paint back then.
But if we don't take
Okay,
care of
I
it,
didn't say
it's not
anything-
going to be.
I never said
beautiful.
it. Graffiti. That's the Grand Canyon. You're gonna graffiti. That's horrible. But throwing rocks.
Now listen, I am opposed to the throwing rocks thing, but you know what I think would be really funny? Is if you just peed
no,
into the Grand Canyon.
there's also rules against
Is
that.
that their rule there?
Oh my gosh!
I'm
and that's
against the
why-
rocks.
Dang.
This is why you go
You know how
there,
funny
and
that'd
they're-
be, though?
this is why they don't trust anybody because it escalates.
To that.
You're just like, hey, you're just going to the bathroom,
Wow.
and you're just skipping a couple
You
of
just
rocks.
skip it
Who would
some
it be
rocks.
hurting though? Who would it be
And
hurting?
then all of a sudden, you're looking up and there's just a stream flying by you, and everyone's like, "What the heck is
You've
that?"
started a flash flood.
I know.
And there's like some poor trail donkey that's
It's getting
dead.
wiped out down the
swept
road.
away.
So
Swept
I
away.
think we just, you're probably not as bad, but there's people that would escalate it way more.
Yes.
Well, we'll have the rules for them and the rocks I'm able to throw.
No rules for you.
Yeah. No, just as long as in the rules is I can throw rocks.
Well, we talk about the Grand Canyon and someone who did get in trouble.
All right. That's long enough.
Okay.
All
That's
right,
too
yeah.
long.
Hi, everybody.
See you guys.
So long.
This is RadioU's Worst of the Riot.
I was thinking about something.
Yeah.
Actually, not okay. I read something yesterday
Yeah.
that I can't get out of my mind, and that is that robots, right?
Robots. Yeah.
Robots. There was they can do amazing things, right? But I read that for like the team of researchers that have worked on like humanoid robots, trying to get a robot from lying down, like a robot was lying down, and teaching that robot or programming it or whatever to get it to be able to go from lying down to standing up.
Yeah.
It took them like years.
Really?
Like decades.
Why would
to
you
figure
have to?
that out.
Your robot could just stand.
You could just start it standing, right?
It could just stay standing.
But what if it falls down?
Oh yeah, good call.
Because that could definitely happen. Robots are pretty unstable.
You're right.
But think about that for a moment. That there was one side, probably a team of scientists, roboticists,
Years.
that every day they would come home from work and their partner would say to them, "Hey, honey, how was work today?" And the roboticist would be like,
Well,
"Robot's still lying down. It's still lying down."
what a weird thing to think about.
There was probably researchers that came and went. They got there. The robot was lying down. They left years later.
Retired.
And the robot never stood up. It was lying down the whole time. And so that's what I was thinking about. And that will never be appreciated. We appreciate all the things that robots, they build cars and they're like, hostesses at hotels and whatever. But we appreciate that. But we don't appreciate just the fact that some robots can go from lying down to standing up.
I would love just to be around you yesterday as someone's like, "Boy, Hudson, like, what are you thinking about? You're really deep in thought.
Looking really contemplative.
Yeah, what are you like contemplating?" You're like, "Well, did you know robots can barely stand up?"
Yeah, it took them years to just go from lying down to standing up.
That's a look into your mind.
And so I thought about that for a long time, but then I also thought, some people don't think what we do is impressive, but in a way, I think what we do is very similar to what those roboticists did, and that is we have to get ourselves from lying down to standing up every day, and we try, and some days it's not easy, but we do it.
I think scientists are still working on it.
Yeah, that's right. It's they may never perfect the technique of me going from lying down to standing up.
Yeah,
smoothly.
All right. There's something.
Yeah, that's what was on my mind. So now it's off of my mind.
You feel better getting it out?
I do. Yeah, and I hope all the scientists that work so hard on that, I hope they get the recognition they deserve. I hope they appreciate me shining a light on their struggle.
Find more Riot content online. Riot.radiou.com.
It's time for our annual reminder that you're not supposed to drive with snow on your windshield.
I thought it was always just like bad taste, but are you saying you can get a ticket for it?
You can definitely get a ticket, and not just for your windshield either. Of course, it depends on...
Because it's dangerous.
Yeah, it is, especially when it's the like heavy, chunky snow that like it's snowy, but it's also gets icy. Because have you ever seen that kind of snow when it flies off the top of a car in front of you on the highway?
That could hit your car.
You don't want that on hitting your windshield, especially and busting your windshield off.
If it's just you being lazy and you just hope it'll fall off.
Yeah.
But what you don't realize, it'll fall off to another car.
It is pretty fun doing that when it's the really powdery snow, though.
Yeah, but like in your driveway, and not when you go out.
I don't know. I like the powdery snow when obviously you clean off the windshields, but you leave the hood of your car, you let the snow sit on there, and then when you're driving at night, and then it looks like you're entering hyperspace or something, all the snow sliding up over the windshield. You don't do that?
Well, not normally.
Okay. Well, you should try it sometime.
But you're not supposed to if it's covering your windshield.
Yeah. It feels like that should go without saying, because one of the most important things in this day and age when it comes to driving, until one day maybe we have self-driving cars, it's important to be able to see. And that is why it is so important to clean your entire windshield off of your car, not just a little circle, not just a little peephole. You need to have...
Yeah, we've all done that.
Yeah, and you're running late for work, you try to cut some corners, that's just going to end badly for you, and very likely somebody else as well. So we have, just to nail this point home, we have a driver in Washington State. They were driving along State Route 16 in Kitsap County. They were driving for more than 5 miles with snow, and we've got a picture here. It is. They have the little peephole, a little porthole of space where they can see, but you don't have full visibility. Not nearly. I'd say at least 75% of the windshield covered with snow. And so once they got pulled over, that's a $553 ticket.
Whoa, that's expensive.
It is expensive, but do you feel like it's enough?
Well,
Driving 5 miles like this?
$553, that's a pretty good ticket.
It's like $100 a mile.
It is negligent driving in the second degree.
It's definitely negligent.
The charge.
Yeah. You think, if you're driving like this, should you even have a license? People get their license taken away for much much less than that.
I don't know. I feel at least you have to go to court for something.
Yeah, some reason. But, the other thing we have to think about is if they were driving for over 5 miles that way, like, who was following them?
The police officer.
Well, shouldn't he have stopped him the first
No, he
in
wanted
the first
he
mile?
wanted to see how long they could go.
Well, that feels like that's a dangerous thing to do.
It's entrapment.
Maybe, okay, yes, I hear somebody out there going, maybe they just know where he was and know where he left from because he told them where he left from. Okay, maybe. But if you saw this guy and then you're like, all right, let's see how far he'll go before he finally realizes. No, you got to pull him over.
I don't know.
It's dangerous for everybody out there. I know it might be, rural Washington State. There might not be a lot of other people around, but there could be deer.
Well, when we
There could be other
say,
things.
like, he made a little peephole to look,
Yeah.
it's not even where you would think the eyes would really be.
Yeah.
It still leans way left on the windshield.
Uh-huh.
to
It's
where-
super high,
It's
too.
super high. Like, how could this guy see? But that's what you get. You get a big ticket
His excuse was his windshield wipers aren't working.
because they're frozen with the snow on it.
Yeah, they're not going to work when there's like 3 inches of snow packed on top of them. There's the windshield wipers are not doing anything with that snow. Not unless you clean them off first. So
Well, it's a
this is
warning. If
a
you get snow in
reminder.
your area, you need to, or otherwise you can get a really big ticket.
You definitely could, and people could get hurt. So clean off not just the windshield, get the top of the car too. That's important. I know
Clean
a
your
lot of
car
people like to
off.
leave that. Got to get the top of the car too.
This is The Riot. Radio U.
What's stopping us from looking ahead into 2023 and getting a jump start? You want to get a head start on the competition when it comes to New Year's resolutions. And like, if you're going to make a change in 2023, you better start planning in 2022.
You got to plan ahead.
Proper planning prevents poor performance. So maybe 2023, you're thinking, is your year to make a move. You got to go to a new city, start a new life, leave this one behind, and do something different. I've got the hottest cities that are predicted to be the hottest cities to move to in the new year.
Sometimes that's worrisome, though, because that means it's the most expensive.
Yeah.
That
Or
could
it'll be
be.
the
Rent's
most
going up.
expensive.
Yeah, that's right. I don't know, but maybe it's because there's a lot to love about these cities. This is according to Realtor.com's 2023 housing forecast.
Let's see where we're going to move to.
So this is where
I'm
they
excited.
predict the biggest increase in home sales in
We're
2023.
finally leaving home, guys.
Yes.
Let's go.
Get out of here.
The number one city that they predict will be the biggest city for people to move to in 2023, El Paso, Texas.
Ooh.
Old El Paso.
That's a big commitment to
I know
move
a
to
lot
El
of
Paso,
people are moving to
Texas.
Texas. Like, that's a hot spot.
It is a hot spot.
It
a
is
lot
a
of my
hot
friends have
spot.
moved to like Austin and Houston
Yeah.
and stuff.
Austin and Houston are a different world than El Paso, though.
No, it's a good starter point. Maybe you start in El Paso and then you work your way up.
I don't think, like El Paso is a decent sized city, right? But I don't think people realize it's out in the middle of, like, it's out West Texas, right?
It's almost in Mexico. It's like on the border, right?
Yeah. So it's not near anything.
You
it's
have to
very
start somewhere,
isolated.
Hudson.
Yeah, that's
okay.
right.
Listen, it's a hot spot.
Maybe people are moving there because they want to be
yeah,
isolated.
you got to make the area.
Number 2, Columbia, South Carolina.
Ooh.
On the list of hot cities to move to in 2023, according to Realtor.com. What do you make of Columbia, South Carolina?
I went to South Carolina over the summertime.
Uh-huh.
I mean, it's good,
You had a nice time?
but I think it's hot during the summer.
Yeah,
it's pretty miserable.
That's a good point. The
But so would
humidity
Texas.
will be what gets you. I think Columbia, South Carolina sounds like the kind of town I might like to move to. It might be a little small. I'm more of a big city guy, but
It's like a medium-sized city.
yeah. It's and it's on the East Coast, so there's other cities around.
You got
too.
Charlotte pretty close to it, as well as Charleston pretty close as well.
So maybe good food probably in the
Well,
South.
number 3 on the list, I'm going to say no.
Hartford, Connecticut.
I could never move to Connecticut.
Me either.
High
No
property
offense.
I'm against.
taxes.
No offense to Connecticut, but I don't think I could ever move
No,
there.
yeah, the tag.
And I'm not going north either. That's
Yeah.
colder.
I mean, I could go north, but Hartford. It's not like what are you getting excited about in Hartford? I've been to Hartford several times. It's not an exciting city. The best thing about it is for like 2 months of the year, you could go to the beach.
And that's it.
That's it. And it's not even the best beach.
Next one is Buffalo, New York.
Well, that's a huge no.
Oh,
Sorry.
Big no for me as well.
I mean, I haven't been there in a few years, but when I was there, it's not pretty.
And I saw the snowstorm like 2 weeks ago. I'm good on that as well.
It's all the negatives of Connecticut plus no beach.
Plus no beach.
Number 5 on the list of hottest cities to move to in 2023, according to Realtor.com's housing forecast. They say number 5, Little Rock, Arkansas.
I've never been there.
Me either.
I have a friend that was considering he might move to Memphis, but he had to like fly out of Little Rock, and he says
No.
Arkansas is a big no.
Okay. It's a
Arkansas
no list.
is a definite no.
Well, the rest of the list is Louisville, Kentucky, Baltimore, Maryland, Omaha, Nebraska, Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, and Columbus, Ohio.
Columbus, Ohio.
There it is.
Yeah, that's a big one. Some of those cities near the bottom feel a little crimey, don't you think?
Like Baltimore?
Baltimore, Harrisburg, Columbus.
Shh, they don't want you to focus on that.
It's not important.
Listen, you're not doing this list right,
Is
all
this
right?
the
Yeah,
top
you're not
cities for
moving worried about
criminals to
that.
move to in 2023?
They deserve a new start, too.
I guess so. That's right.
So that's the list of the top places they say a lot of people will be moving to next year.
Hudson, Nikki, The Riot on Radio U.
Talked a week or two back about the word of the year according to Merriam-Webster, the dictionary people. Remember how they said that gaslight is the word of the year? At least that's what they want us to think.
They should have announced the word of the year and then left us.
Yeah, that's right.
And never talked about it again.
So that was their word of the year. They had their finger on the pulse there. But, there's competing schools of thought in the dictionary world. Did you know Oxford University Press, as in Oxford in the UK, they do their own dictionary too.
Yeah.
And so they've put
Don't
out.
say yeah.
I know that there's an Oxford dictionary.
God.
That's a well-known thing.
It is. It
Could
is
you
a
have
well-known
heard your
thing.
tone?
I know. Yes, I'm very familiar.
I believe.
Was reading it yesterday. I
Isaiah
usually
with
lean Oxford.
His wide vocabulary. Of course, Isaiah would be familiar with the Oxford English Dictionary. So they put out their own word of the year. And first of all, they've totally failed because it's 2 words. Goblin Mode.
I have never heard that term.
You haven't?
I haven't.
All in your TikToking? You never see
No.
anybody say, I'm going goblin
If
mode?
I have,
I'm a goblin.
I've just heard goblin, but not like goblin mode.
Not like turkey goblin, though.
No.
Like goblin,
More
like...
similar to like
Ogre.
demon mode,
Yeah.
gremlin mode, goblin mode. They're all
like,
the same.
Like an orc, like something from World of Warcraft or Lord of the Rings or whatever. Goblin mode is, so you don't know what goblin mode is?
Well, I do know now.
You know now.
Self-indulgent and lazy.
Yeah, unapologetically, slovenly behavior. Yeah, you guys ever, now that you know the term, you think you ever go goblin mode?
Have I ever indulged in the goblin mode? I think everybody has a little bit.
I think.
Why don't you ask us that in a couple of weeks at Christmas time?
Yeah. But you don't just, if it's the word of the year, that means people are doing it all year round, right?
Oh, yeah. I'd say so. It's all over TikTok.
They say if you reject social norms or expectations, so basically you just don't care what people think, or, but not in like you go like great, you don't
No,
care.
bad. This is bad.
This is the other way
of just like totally just what do they even say? Reclusive
I would
behavior?
say like ignorant behavior would be a good way to describe it. If you're doing things that are very ignorant, I would describe that as goblin mode.
Can you give an
example?
Oh, an
give an
example of a time that you would be in goblin mode?
Tell us of a time that you went goblin
I don't know
mode.
if I've ever been goblin mode.
You've
that I'm
never
willing,
goblined.
Not that I'm willing to share on the show. I'd maybe look bad, I think. I think any time that you're disrespectful towards someone, that could be considered goblin mode if it benefits you in some sort of way.
Like
Okay.
say you had a big class project and it was you and 3 others,
Yeah.
and you didn't do anything. Like
But
is it-
then when time comes around to take credit, you take all the credit.
You take
That
all
would
the
be
credit.
me going all goblin
So
mode.
like you're totally lazy about the work you're supposed to do. You've got other people that are out filling in, and you're just being a goblin about it. You're not ghosting them because you're around, but you just
You're
don't do
there.
it.
All right, so out of the 3 of us,
It would be a goblin.
who's the most goblin?
Why is everybody looking over in this direction?
I'm waiting for you to answer.
If are we taking votes?
Yeah.
I think I would probably lean myself.
Okay. That's
If
very,
I had to guess.
That's very reflective
Who
of
would you say?
I was also thinking myself.
Oh, you were thinking you too?
Yeah.
And then I guess the tiebreaker, because we all know Nikki's not going to be like
Nikki's not
me.
a goblin.
I'm not a goblin.
There's nothing goblin about you.
Yeah, Nikki. Choose.
Who's the greedier, more self-indulgent,
Sorry,
lazier?
Ignorant.
I think it's you, Isaiah.
Okay. All right. Well, this was a fun segment.
What do you mean? Nikki agreed with you. You
I
should be
know.
happy.
I should have voted for you is what I should have done.
Yeah.
That was a...
Well, maybe we
bad
should ask, who do you guys think would be the goblin out of everybody?
8772 Radio U.
You can text Hudson or Isaiah.
Nikki's not an available answer.
No.
I'm
Not
not
a
even in the
multiple
running
choice.
at
No.
this
We're
point.
all in agreement on that.
The Riot with Hudson and Nikki on Radio U.
Have you guys, either of you, been to the Grand Canyon?
Yes.
You
Yes.
have? You've
Yep.
both been?
Yeah.
What'd you guys do there?
I took a train to go to the Grand Canyon,
Uh-huh.
and then we got off
And that
the
was
train.
half the fun?
And then your mom yells at you to don't fall over.
Yep.
You see how beautiful it is, and then you get back on the train.
How long did that take?
I think it was a couple hours.
How much of it did you enjoy?
I don't know. I think I was probably young enough. No, wait, I was older. I enjoyed it. It was
You
pretty.
did? You enjoyed? The
It's
train or the Grand Canyon?
Both. I think I actually enjoyed the train more.
Whoa.
That was cool.
What about you?
I like the Grand Canyon. I've been, I think, twice, maybe 3 times. I think either 2 or 3 times that I've been to the Grand Canyon.
Did it
I think it's pretty
change?
awesome. I think it's pretty epic every time you go. There's nothing really to describe it. Like, if you've never been there, you can't really
Yeah.
comprehend how amazing it is. I think it's pretty darn cool. And I went when I was like, probably like 8 and like 16 years old, probably.
Uh-huh.
And both times I thought it was pretty awesome. And I was pretty young at the time.
I think I'd like to. I've never been to the Grand Canyon. I think I would like to go one time, but I feel like once it feels. I
One time
know
can
it's
be enough.
majesty,
Yeah.
but it's not even like there's nothing else around the Grand Canyon, right? So you go one time, you see it, you appreciate it, and then that's it. But my problem with it is that it's in Arizona, so I may never see it. But I didn't know this about the Grand Canyon. Did you guys know you're not supposed to, and I'm sorry if you already did this, you're not supposed to hit golf balls into the Grand Canyon?
Well, since you haven't been there, you didn't know this. But basically, when you go to the Grand Canyon,
Yeah.
you can barely do anything because of the
Rules.
The rules.
Yeah.
What do you
So,
mean?
Like you have to, follow the rules when you're there, and there's a lot of them.
And one of them, do they have it posted? You guys see the sign, don't hit golf balls into the Grand Canyon?
I'm sure there's signs everywhere of like, don't throw things in the canyon. It
Yeah.
seems pretty self-explanatory, like don't toss stuff down there, but people just like to use it as a landfill apparently and hit golf balls into
See,
it.
if I went to the Grand Canyon, I think that's the number one thing I would want to do is like throw something into it.
Yeah, that's why there's signs. You're
Yeah,
not
it's like,
supposed
don't
to.
do
what's
that.
the fun? They took away like the funnest thing you could do there.
What do
not
you
a trash-
mean?
It's not a trash dump.
There's people walking
Golf
down
balls
there.
aren't yeah, so they'll be like, ooh, a golf ball.
No, they're gonna be like, oh my gosh, I'm dead. I just got hit in the head with a golf ball.
You're not supposed to.
Just give them helmets or something.
Nope.
Seems like kind of defeats the purpose of the awesome tour.
Maybe you shouldn't go to the Grand
Yeah,
Canyon.
it sounds like you aren't
I don't
responsible
want
enough to handle it.
I don't want to, and they don't want me. Until the Grand Canyon, until the borders are redrawn and it's moved out of Arizona, I will not be going. But now I don't want to go either because I can't. I learned that you can't. You guys are telling me you can't throw anything.
No.
I thought it was just
No.
golf balls. Because I don't know if you guys.
Of course you can't. What do you mean?
Are you familiar with Katie Sigmund from TikTok?
No.
I looked
She-
her up though.
She has like 6.9 million followers. And she was under the impression that you could hit golf balls into the Grand Canyon. She's like a golf. I think she actually plays golf. Like she wouldn't be like me and just grab a club and some balls and hardly ever hit them before. I think she actually does golf, so that's why she was doing this. But she was hitting golf balls into the Grand Canyon, and she took it an extra mile too. She threw a club into the Grand Canyon.
Uh-oh.
You don't want to do that.
Probably killed a small animal in the act.
Probably.
Well, you could also, crack part of the canyon.
Yeah.
You don't want to start some
What?
sort of horrible.
Hasn't it been there for like thousands of years?
I know. It's
But we
just.
want to take care
If
of it.
it's so fragile that
It's
it can
fragile.
be thrown into danger by a golf club.
Hey, you know what? A lot of golf clubs over the years, 100 years from now, no more Grand Canyon. How do we like that?
Yeah,
Not so much.
Good point. So she was, I mean, obviously she posted about it and everything. She got hit with a fine, 285 smackers.
Oh, that was the ticket for it?
Yeah. Her golf club probably cost more than that.
That was littering and creating hazardous conditions and disorderly conduct.
And I don't know. The more you guys tell me I shouldn't throw things in the Grand Canyon, the more I want to.
It's there to go look at it. It's beautiful, but you're not supposed to throw trash in it.
I'm not. Who said anything about trash?
What are you throwing in
you're
it?
not using is trash.
How about this? This is perfect. One of the things I love to throw. Apples.
Apples?
Yeah.
No, because then they're like, hey, that's an invasive species of an apple tree. It's not supposed to grow
a
here.
creature's going to eat it. So some like donkey or whatever that's down there, and it's going to get some food off of, out of the deal.
There's people walking down there
It's
still.
a big canyon. What are the odds?
But that's not what it's about, you know? If everybody does it every day, at some point somebody's going to get hit and die.
How about this? How about we have...
Do you want to die from an apple?
Yeah.
It's a big canyon, okay?
You want a designated throwing area?
Yes,
We're not doing that.
there should be a throwing area where
There's
you
not
can
a
throw
throwing area.
biodegradable materials in to see how far you can throw them.
It's cool enough just to see it as is.
I don't think it is.
Yes, it's like one of the most amazing things you can see on the entire planet. It might be the most amazing thing on the entire planet.
I thought you were old enough to be mature enough to handle a trip to the Grand Canyon.
Appreciate the Grand Canyon.
We're turning the car back around and we're going home.
I'm going to somewhere I'm allowed to throw stuff.
Thanks for watching the worst of the riot. Since you made it this far, you might as well like, subscribe, and check out riot.radiou.com for even more riot.